Welcome back to another edition of Film Room with Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, brought to you by Twin Cities Orthopedics. And Coach, it was a back and forth game, a lot of huge plays. I cannot wait to see which three you've chosen to discuss.
Yeah, we knew going into that game. I mean, really, when you look at the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, taking on top 10 defenses, kind of grinded out type games where it's never going to go perfectly throughout, but we always want to go into these games with the mindset of being balanced on offense to be able to have a chance to, win it in the end if we need to. But our defense, which we'll finish up with that huge finishing play by Cam Bynum, sealing another close game for us. One-score game again. We're getting awfully comfortable in those situations. But one of these days we're going to be able to put one of these things away and not make Vikings fans live all the way down to the last play with us. But I sure hope they're enjoying the 10 wins because we sure have. And here's to going to get another one this week. But let's start out on the offensive side. And anytime I ever show these, fans can always look for our side of the line of scrimmage. Can we maintain that? Or potentially win some combinations where we got guys going north and south. And all we're trying to do is force this defense to trigger, and we're trying to get connected. And there's going to be a corner that's left unblocked, and a lot of times that guy's tasked with making that tackle or the free safety. And as we look at it from the end zone, you're going to see a lot of really cool stuff right here. First and foremost, really when you look at this, how's this play blocked? So you got T.J. Hockenson really responsible for that defensive end. Adam Thielen, as he's done a lot this year, is going to really insert on that strong safety. Like I said, we'll book that corner. The rookie corner, he's a good player, but not his biggest strength showing up in the run game. But like I said, really a ton of respect for Sauce Gardner. And then really when you look at this combination right here, these guys are going to be responsible, hopefully, to kind of get removal of that D lineman on their way to the linebacker. But as you see right here, as the Jets tend to do, they've been really good at it all year. These linebackers will trigger. This safety will trigger in these open gaps. And at that point, it's man-on-man football. Can you close your gap off and eventually give Alexander the chance to read this thing and get in that kind of C-gap area off of Adam and TJ's block? But a lot to make note of here. First and foremost, look at that. Ed Ingram, the instinctive rookie player. He's now 12 games in, able to get connected with Brian, but then have a vision to come off and make that block right there critical for us to be able to close that A gap off. And then Brian O'Neill closing that gap off in the B gap. And now T.J. Hockenson, he makes a lot of plays for us in the passing game, but don't think he gets enough credit for how he's able to cover up his man. And then can't talk about him enough, the Man of the Year nominee for us. His willingness to make that block right there with physicality, hold up at the point, is what opens up that crease. It seems like a huge hole, but there's a lot that goes into forming that. And then Alexander's going to have the ability to run by that corner, and then it's one-on-one with him and that safety, and we'll take that matchup every day of the week. Great run by Alex, great execution by our guys, and you can see Adam Thielen was pretty darn excited about it.
As he should be. And that's, again, for Hockenson to be able to turn out and have that guy cross his face, collapse that whole side down.
Let's roll that back one more time, because I'm going to ask you, Pete, what the heck was going on at the end of this thing. We've seen some good football here. It's time to go celebrate. Apparently, Alex had this one dialed in for a couple weeks, but these guys make me nervous every time, the fake hammy into whatever you want to call this, Pete. I'm not quite sure. I'm just glad we didn't pull.
I think he was pumping the hammy back up, right?
Whatever you're calling it, I'll go with it, but just glad we didn't get a 15-yard penalty for that one. The next one is obviously the big play that we had to have. We'd kind of gotten a drive going there after scuffling with some missed stops there in the third quarter, fourth quarter turns. And then, as we've done many, many times, we put together a really good drive with some play pass, a couple timely runs. And then this was 3rd and 10 from the 10, not an easy down by NFL standards. What we're going to basically do is we're going to put TJ on the backside. They tried to match up in the red zone, Sauce Gardner down here on him. TJ is going to run kind of an inside breaking route right there. I got to get in the habit of maybe not throwing out the names of the routes as much as I have this year. I get yelled at by the coaches upstairs. But we're going to basically try to tie down people, have the ability to throw TJ here if that void presents itself, had a chance at it, and then work across the board. But this really read is designed, if you don't have anything, they crowd that front line. We're going to give Justin the ability to win on the outbreak up top. And very, very few quarterbacks in our league have the ability to make this throw, the field outbreaking throw from about the 11-yard line to about 5 yards in. That's a big-time throw out there to the field with that kind of accuracy. And there we go with another opportunity to see the best gritty in the world right there. I know there's a lot of people emulating, but very few can match the the consistency of JJ's gritty. But let's look at it from the end zone real quick, because I think this is important. Against a front like this, penetrating front, 3rd and 10 from the 10, we're going to try to get eligibles into the end zone, but that takes time. So watch our guys up front getting connected. You'll feel, once again, all right, Dalvin doing a nice little job with just a little help there from my man Blake. And that left side, that slide side's pretty darn firm. And then how about Brian O'Neill holding up against a pretty darn good rusher over there, enough to set that pocket for Kirk, and that's all we're looking for. Playing in the NFL is playing quarterback from the pocket, and it's not always pretty, but his ability to make this throw right here all the way out to that sideline with that kind of accuracy, it's a game-winning play, as he's done many times for us this year in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, an amazing throw, and what a great job by that offensive line, all keeping their shoulders square, building that pocket up, and having Cousins, giving him the time to go from the left all the way to the right side of the field.
That's right, and it's all 11 in those critical downs, and there's really no other way to execute and play winning football than having all 11 guys doing their job. The little things tend to matter, and what a play right here by Cam Bynum. I thought he had one of his best games of the year in this game. He made some really timely tackles showing up, but if you remember back, Pete, to when we showed Patrick Peterson's interception against the Bills, there was kind of a different concept. The Bills kind of ran almost like a double post type concept, which allowed Pat P to drive that thing and go ahead and end that game. This is going to be a little different, because now what they're going to do is they're going to go underneath of EK right there, and it's going to essentially be just an in-breaking route. So the quarterback's going to think he might have a chance to squeeze this in. Can that receiver shave it across Cam Bynum's face, or can Cam step in front of that thing for the interception? You'll see it right there underneath that hook player. So now you'll see Cam, look at him, look at his eyes. He's ready to still handle that route if it goes vertical right there. He knows he's got the veteran help on the backside in this kind of formation. And then just watch him drive this thing. Puts his foot in the ground, makes the play. Situational masters getting down for our 10th win right there. And when we look at it from the end zone, the attrition, a lot of snaps, but how about DJ Wanham making the rush here to go ahead and get to the quarterback on basically one hitch timing right here. He's going to take one hitch, two hitch, and then there's DJ showing up. So if that ball didn't come out when it did, forcing that quarterback to have to make a decision, DJ is going to get the sack in a critical moment right there. So bend but don't break, but critical plays there down in the low red. Our defense is now only one touchdown between the Patriots and the Jets over 9 red zone trips. That's winning football no matter how many yards you end up giving up.
Yeah, the quarterback sees that tight window, but that window shrinks when you've got defensive back climbing on you.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. We will see you next week with another edition of Vikings Film Room.